Good evening. Should have done this. I really should have done this before, chat, but I was getting comfy, so that's my bad. So let me just get all the standings up real quick, chat. You know what? I am going to. Who's coming around right now? The 107. Where's 107? I'm gonna let you guys enjoy a lap around this circuit while I get the stuff up that I need because I should have done this beforehand and I didn't. My bad. If it will let me change the cameras. Right, there we go. We got them up. Let's do this again, shall we, chat? Because I botched that intro and we've got less than 5 minutes remaining, so we're going to do it again. Sorry, Matt. Good evening, SimPlay Nation, and welcome to season number 7. It's round number 4 for the Silverstone GP. It's infamous, it's tricky, it's the home of Formula 1 and British Motorsport, and this scene for tonight around the Pro-Am circuit. Of course, GT4 was completed last night, which I'm not going to talk about my race, and Pros tomorrow, but we've got Pro-Am tonight. I'm Alexi, and this is, of course, your Pro-Am category for the GT3s. Round 5. My bad. In my defence, I wasn't here for the first few races because internet issues. So my thing's a bit off. It's round number 5. My bad. I need to update that on my end. That's my bad. But going into the driver standings, we will look at it like this. In the lead in the Pro-Ams, it is Hibbs with 269 points to their name. Then Snai, who rounds out in P number 2 with 208. 205 shortly behind goes to Ramsel with Gue in P number 4, 201. And then to round out the top 5, it's Stardog, I should say, with 186 points. It's then Millington, Ritchie, Limiter, Greaves, Beck rounds out the top 10, Flem Speed 1, Argent, Taylor, Old Sim Racer, Saunders, Williams, Varga, Wolski, Fat Bloke, Flores, Smith, Fernie, Tucker, Johnson, Betterson, Sturrock, Craig, Atherton, Hicks, Rubber, Ibest, Cranky Duckhead, Lane, Clarble, Waste, Unsworth, and Sutcliffe. I am so sorry if I got those pronunciations wrong. And then going into the team standings is Stage 2 Motorsport, who currently line up at the... Nope. It's Greasy Bandits Racing who currently line up at the top with 1,704 points to their name, with Cam Racing in P number 2 on 1,615. Then FSR Racing in P number 3 with Stage 2 Motorsport line up in P number 4 in the team standings. And then P number 5 goes to Flat Bloke Racing. P6 goes to Richie's course team, with P number 7 going to SimPlay Racing. And then it is Mad Dog Motorsport, Team TOM, Cloud9 Racing, Roadrunner Motorsports, Team Merlot, Malamus Racing, RB Quantum Motorsport, RBGT Team, and TR Audio Sport. That intro was very botched, and I apologise. Also, yes, top three pro place. I said this last week, and I'm going to say it this week. Apologies about the stuttering. And if I seem out of breath, there is a reason for that. I'm not going to tell you why, because I don't know if I'm allowed to. If you knew what I was doing earlier, then you know. As right now, it is Gue who's up top. Is Ramsel also in the pits? Everybody's in the pits. Well, not everybody. We've got a few out on circuit. Who we're watching right now? We're going to be watching the limiter with less than a minute remaining in free practice. Of course, we'll get this up real quick on the big for you, and it is, of course, nice and simple. It is free practice. When we go straight into the main race. Not the main race. We go straight into the sprint race, which is 20 minutes long. 1 pit stop required for refueling. Reverse grid order for from the championship to determine the starting grid for that. Set a free practice 2 for 10 minutes. Set a 15-minute qualifying to determine the starting grid for race number 2, which is an hour long. And that is the feature race. So we've got a 20-minute sprint and an hour race with a lovely bit of qualifying in there as well. Gotta love it. It's Silverstone. It's infamous. Everybody loves it. Everybody knows it. And free practice should be coming to an end very, very shortly. And I'm going to be honest, I can't do predictions in chat. So if any of the mods want to put a prediction in the chat once the reverse order gets put up about who's going to win, feel free to, because I know Dan does that, but I can't. As pulling over is the limiter. Seems like the limiter's reached the limit. My ACC is messing with me. Matt is on it. Fair enough. Also, when I'm inside a car, not when I'm inside a car, when the camera's inside a car, does it sound alright? Do we sound good? Do we sound good? Like, is the audio levels alright? It's around the final corner, is going to become the final driver, and that is how we get into the reverse grid order, which we will go through once the formation lap starts. We'll go through it once the formation lap starts. So, yeah. As right now, as we wait for everybody to get the setups on, and it's Silverstone. Let's go through it real quick for you. I'm not going to save the length, but of course you start lap number 1 with Copse Corner, down into Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel, then onto the Hanger Straight and all the way down to Stowe, then down into the Vale Chicane, quickly into Club Corner, onto the Lewis Hamilton Straight, through Abbey, through Farm, into the heavy braking of turn number 3, which is Village, and, well, technically F1 turn 3, and then down into the Loop, onto the Wellington Straight, then they head into Brooklands, Lopfield, Woodcut, and back onto what I call the GT Pit Straight. I don't think it's actually named. You would think, because I'm British, I would know this. You would be incorrect. I can never figure out if this pit. I can never figure out if this straight just before Copse actually has a name. All I know is that the sweep before it is called the Silverstone. Is called the Woodcut Sweep.
Seconds.
So without further ado, engines roar please, maybe. So here we go then, we get on board with the formation lap and let's go through your reverse grid order for you, shall we? It is going to be Clarbel who will line up on pole position. However, he will have Lane right alongside him. It's an Aston Martin Lamborghini 1-2 Britain versus Italy. It's then Ferrari who will line up on the second row with Rubber in the McLaren right alongside him, with Unsworth lining up P number 5 and Matt Hicks runs up in P number 6 for Quantum Motorsport, as well as actually Best in P number 3 being for Quantum Motorsport as well. So Quantum Motorsport having a very high starting order here. It's then Atherton who is started in the pit lane, and then it's Craig in P number 8 with Sturrock P number 9, Betterson P number 10, Johnson P number 11 in the trusty Nissan. It's then Tucker P number 12 for Team Murloc, with Team TOM's Rob Smith lining up in P number 13, unlucky for some. Flores will then line up in P number 14 for Roadrunners Motorsport, with Fat Blokes Racing Fat Bloke in P number 15. Cloud9 Racing's Wolski lines up in P number 16 with Varga in P number 17 for Malamus Racing. Stage 2 Motorsport is P number 18 with Williams at the helm. Send Saunders for the other Cloud9 Racing in P number 19 with Old Sim Racer for Team TOM in P number 20. Andrew Taylor. It's then Taylor for SimPlay Racing in P number 21 with Argent in P number 22. Of course, well, it's updating now. We're updating now, so that's good. And then it's Flem Speed 1 who will line up in P number 22, so everybody's been bumped up one position due to that pit lane. And then it's Beck in P number 23. Richie then lines up in P number 24 with S. Greaves in P number 25. Zen Limiter, who lines up in P number 26 with Millington P27, Stardog P28, Gue P number 29, Ramsell P30, and Sny P31, with P32 being Hibbs. So we have got 32 drivers on the grid for this race in the sprint, in the 20 minutes which we will be ready and raring to go around the Silverstone circuit. Of course, it's an interesting one. It is a tricky one, and it is going to be Clarbel on pole position. Lane P number 2. Best lines up P number 3. Rubber P4, Unsworth P number 5. As we go over to the helicam, as we now come round the left-hander and onto the good old, the lovely, the bomber, aka the Wellington Straight, an infamous bomber for the Brits back in 1941. And then now down, as we continue down the Wellington Straight, we get ready, we get raring as we get ready one more time. It's an Aston Martin on the front row, Lamborghini right alongside him, Ferrari and McLaren behind. So a nice split inside of the top 4. And of course, it is a power circuit. It all comes down to this. It all comes down here in round number 5 of season number 7. It is Silverstone. It is the home of British motorsport. We already went to one British circuit at the start of this season. We go to Donington at the end of the season. But here at Silverstone, probably the most boring of the F1, probably the most boring of the British circuits, in my personal opinion, because there's not as much elevation change. But as they go now round and down to the start-finish line, they will look to the right-hand side for that infamous green flag.
Green light, go, go, go.
Boogity, 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 let's go racing at Silverstone as the green flag drops and away we go, and that's going to be a very, very bad start for Lane, and all the way around is going to be the Ferrari. That's going to be major contact. Already drive-throughs. That is Unsworth, who is off at Cops, collecting 2 cars in that moment. Hicks making his way through the field, possibly up into a trusty position, maybe drop down a few. He has got the Nissan right behind him. I believe that is actually Johnson, so Hicks may have had a bad start. What about Best for Quantum Motorsport? Down onto the next straight. He's up with a P number 2. Lane is going to be right behind him. The McLaren is going to come at him, actually. That's going to be Rubber. Lane has got a bad start, it seems, as we go down into Stowe Corner. It's going to be Best, who's going to be on the defensive. He's got a McLaren in front of him. He's got a McLaren behind him. He's going to have rear gunner, though. Here comes Hicks. Hicks is going to have the play here. One thing to point out, Sturrock and Johnson, both with drive-throughs, as Rubber trying to make his way through at this moment in time. Believe Rubber is actually the green car. The other McLaren of Sturrock is going to be the blue one. That's going to be Rubber, who will get past Sturrock. Now past Matt Hicks. Matt Hicks going to be on the defensive players. Here comes Johnson. Little bit off. The McLaren goes off. Nissan has slipstream. Both slip by the McLaren. Down into Village. Nissan's going to send it. Maybe a little bit too late on the brakes, though. He will have the inside line. He will have the inside line going into the loop, and he will get that position done. He does have that drive-through, though, and that's going to cost him. Lane dropping all the way down the order as Robert trying to chase down Best as they head now down towards Brooklands into Lutfield. Let's have a little bit of look further back as Flame Speed 1 is off and into the infield. All the drivers fly by. That's going to be an incident waiting to happen as the camera. He's under the bridge. He's hidden by the bridge, as luckily enough, no contact being made there. It seems to cost him. Right now, though, that's going to be Sturrock into the pit lane. Flores in the Aston Martin on the inside. Still trying to make their way through the field, going down the inside, looking for the opportunity and the move down into Cops. But it's going to be Varga who will stay ahead. It's Corbaloo leads, followed by Best, Rubber, Matt Hicks, Tucker, Varga, Flores, Smith, Wolski and Fat Block rounds out the top 10, but this is the best thing about the sprint race. It's all bunched up and it's all nice and sweet, as Saunders now going to be on the back of him, trying to make his way through, looking for an opportunity where it may arise, but it looks like he's not going to make it. Here comes Beck, looking to make the move round the outside of the Bentley, the Boatley as it may be called by some people. Down the hanger straight, they will go. Here on lap number 2 at Silverstone, the McLaren, the Bentley, going to continue to battle each other. Down the inside at Stowe Corner, round the outside goes another McLaren. He now goes down the Beck now on the inside of, I believe, Craig. No, Craig's fallen further back. It's Williams that Beck will make the move against. Now going down into Vale Chicane. He's got that move done. The Bentley now on Argent, now up against Williams. Heading down through Vale into Club, through the right-hander. Lewis Hamilton straight past the Silverstone wing. So as they make their way past the Silverstone wing and everything in between. It is everything and anything that may happen when they go through this infamous circuit. It's why we love it. It's known, it's loved, and every driver looks to make their way through at the same time. Argent seeming to get unlucky there as he gets passed by the McLaren. Right now, though, a little bit further up, those gaps beginning to open as Best now fallen behind, actually. There looks like there was an incident for him as he's trying to get past the Aston Martin. but Flores is going to have absolutely none of it as we head now down into Maggots, into Beckett's, into Chapel. You can just about see that Ferrari on the other side of the rear wing, and it is every move and best seeming to not have the best line, maybe not the best traction actually, when they do end up going through this little part of the circuit which Cota seems to rip off. One more time, Millington, Argent, that is a lovely sounding engine. What about the McLarens though? Beck right now, he's got Argent behind him trying to close in with every single second. Smith though, going to be on a defensive game. Wolski is going to be right behind him. Wolski, status report is what Skipper may say as the pit window now opens. They've got to make their pit stop within this time limit. They've got to make their pit stop when they are told. Wolski trying to defend from Smith, but Smith has lost out positions. He's lost to Wolski, he's lost to Fat Bloke. Has he got Saunders behind him? Yes, he does. He's going to have to play the patient game. And he's going to have to go again. One more time, Beck still trying to close down. He's all over him. Let's have a little bit of look further back. Right now, it is Greaves who's trying to make his way past Taylor. Old Sim Racer right there as well. The team TOM cars back in their trusty purple after the unfortunate news last week, as Hibbs trying to make his way through the loop, trying to make his way up into these positions where he does need to get those points. Craig right there as well with him. Got to be on now versus Wolski into the left-hander and into the braking zone. They head into Brooklands and they head into Lutfield. Best on the defensive game through the right-hander, but it looks like Fat Bloke is going to be looking for an opportunity to try and get past him as well. Through the right-hander, as that is going to be Tom, that is going to be Smith. Maybe a little bit of contact, maybe a loss, maybe trying to come into the pits. He gets half spun round and he's now going to drop down the grid order. But now the majority of the drivers will opt to pit. Maybe about half the field, or most likely more, a quarter. Fat Bloke still trying to make his way past Best here this evening at Silverstone as they continue on through Maggots, through Beckett's, into Chapel, and then onto the Hanger Straight one more time. Lap after lap, minute after minute, trying to make their way past that driver ahead. As it looks like Stardog has made his way through, as he's actually got Limiter right in front of him. Limiter, of course, having that moment earlier on the Hanger Straight, and now they make their way further up the field, trying to recover those positions, which I know all too well. As right now, it is going to be Ritchie, who's going to have to defend from Gouet, as down into the Vale chicane they will come, into the left, and then into the right-hander. He's got to be careful though, he's got Snai alongside him on the inside at Vale. Now around the outside is going to be Hibbs. He's going to take the opportunity, he's going to take the chance around the outside, maybe a little bit off track though, and that is going to be Hibbs up into P number 12 past Snai. So right now, Millington versus Williams versus Beck versus Millington, I should say, as they now head through the loop and onto the Hanger Straight. They want to get this done absolutely perfectly as they head it down Wellington and then down into Brooklands one more time. 12 minutes remaining in this race, 7 minutes left of the pit lane being opened. That is front end damage for the McLaren of Craig, it seems. As yeah, front end damage for Craig. You can see it's a little bit battered and bruised. Will he opt to pit now? Yes, he will. McLaren dives into the pit lane, as well as the Lamborghini of Ritchie behind. Snai is going to opt to stay out. Gouet comes into the pit lane here at Silverstone. Anybody else going to be opting to pit? Who knows? We've got a five-way battle heading down into Cops Corner. Old Sim Racer trying to make his way through. Unsworth is in that battle as well. Hibbs is right there with him, with Snide just ahead. 4, 5 cars down into Maggots and into Beckett should go. A little bit of dirt being picked up from the cars in front, and that's going to be spraying right onto the windshield of the Beamer and the McLaren. The Hibbs for Greasy Bandits Racing looking to make the opportunity made onto the Hanger Straight, and then down towards So again, heading down further and further. Slipstream looked, trying to lock in and lock on, but right now Beck is all over the back of Best. The battle of the Bees, the battle of Stage 1 Motorsport and Quantum Motorsport, as Hicks actually now up in a P number 2. Apologies that we missed that earlier on. It is Rubber who leads, followed by Hicks and then Flores. Right now though, Beck trying to defend from Millington, heading down onto the Lewis Hamilton straight, and then down into Abbey you will go. Millington for cam racing, but it looks like it's not going to be enough. Here comes the McLaren on best. He goes for the move around the outside at Farm. He goes down the inside at good old Village and then into the loop. He will defend the inside line, maybe a little bit of contact, luckily enough to keep the noses clean. Beck get past Best as right now here comes Millington through the loop onto Wellington, wheel to wheel, side by side, both in 296 Ferraris. Further and further, faster and faster, but that is going to be Millington down the inside of Brooklands, who looks to be ahead. The late Apex covers off on the inside into the right-hander of Lutfield, and that is going to be it. Fat Bloke now on the back of Best, as that is going to be Hicks, who will call the box. Best also calls the box. It's going to be Millington who comes in. Fat Bloke stays out, Williams in. Sny right there with him. He's got the McLaren of it. He's got the McLaren of Ibs right behind him. How will this turn out? As here comes Sny on Fat Bloke. You got to be careful. Hibbs is right behind you. Possibly down into Stowe as he will get down the inside of Fat Bloke. Not enough on Sny though. Heading down towards Vale over the crest. A little one coming up. Over the slight crest into the braking zone of Cops Corner. Down the inside will go Sny. Trying to defend that position. Headed down through Vale. Into Club. Into the Lewis Hamilton straight. Who will come out on top? Beamer, McLaren, or should I say Beamer, McLaren, Beamer, and then a Ford Mustang behind. It's all the entire top 12 yet to make their pit stops. Alberton is also yet to make their pit stop, as that is a yellow flag actually. Who is that? Who is off? That is a collision actually. That's Gouet. That is Gouet in Maggots, and that is unfortunate. Who did he collide with? I'm going to be honest, I'm on the other side of my room, so I can't exactly see the numbers. As stop go 30 for Storrock. So that is extremely unfortunate. Gouet, we may have to get an opinion on that later on in this race. See if they pop up at any time to tell us what went on. So now, major pit stops. Flores and Sny opt to stay out. Betterson and Best most likely will be calling the pit lane. But didn't Best already pit? Did Best not take his pit stop correctly? Because I could have sworn he came in and he now calls it. He comes into the box. Was that a mistake from the Quantum Motorsport driver? And he's now going to have to pay for it by pitting again this lap. You can see all the drivers in the pit lane right there. And where is everybody else? Coming down the main straight, it's Clarbel versus Hicks. It is Quantum versus Independent. 181 versus 88. Heading down through the rest of this circuit. I thought it was one. As Hicks going to be continuing on through the left and into the right. Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, all the way down to Stowe. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. So key factor, top two, still yet to pit. Rubber has the fastest lap of this race so far. As right now, Hicks and Clarbel line up P4 and 5 on net. So on net average, it is going to be that. Flores as well, still going to be continuing on. Started a little bit further down. He's made a good recovery up the field, the 418. Will he come into the pit lane though, as that is a yellow flag? Who is that? I believe that's an Audi? I'm too far away from my screen, so apologies. We saw right there, actually. That's Richie versus Argent around the outside. This is why we change cameras a lot, so we can see these battles. As looking for Richie, as off in the background, that is old Sim Racer. And you got to wonder what on earth happened there. The car just keeps going, it keeps accelerating. So that's going to be extremely unfortunate for the Team TOM guys. Here comes Hicks. As the pit window closes, did they make their pit stop in time? That's the question. Flores did Snipe. As Rubber now takes the lead of the Silverstone Grand Prix. Yep, they did. Okay. So they did make their pit stop. That's nice. So right now we'll wait for the grid order to completely update itself as through the left-hander into the right-hander, and one more time we go. It's an average lap here. Let's look at the timetable real quick for the leader. It's an average lap here of a 2-minute lap time. So we've got about 2 laps remaining of this race, and through the right-hander, we are most likely going to be going on to the penultimate lap here. Rubber leads, followed by Clarbel and Hicks. Hicks has been on a defensive drive this race. He's been holding it for where it does stand. Vargas right there in P number 4 though. Flores P number 5. Snipe P6. Hibbs P7. Got to be going down towards these guys though. Stardog through the right-handers. Into the Lewis Hamilton straight, and then down to Abbey, looking for the defence to be crumbling right in front of him, looking for that opportunity, any chance he can get to cipher through. Sometimes you don't need to think about it, sometimes things happen ahead of you, which just hands you those positions. As right now though, we will go over to Beck as he's now trying to close in on Millington. These two have been going at it the entire race so far. Who will come out on top? As right now it looks like Millington is going to be the one who will get it done here this evening. As right now it's going to be Flem Speed 1 still trying to make his way through as well. He's got Limiter right in front of him. The FSO team, the FSO racing team drivers seeming to get locked up in a little battle very, very shortly. As right now Ramsell trying to make his way through as well into the right-hander. And into the barrier goes Rob Smith. We saw Rob Smith lose the rear end and into the barrier. That is extremely unfortunate. The race not going his way at all this evening. As right now, we were saying this before, now we see it again. Beck right on the back of Millington. Millington with the fastest lap of this race so far. That is a key factor to point out here at Silverstone. Yet the straight line seems to be in the defence of Millington through the corners where the Macca seems to catch up as we are now on the penultimate lap of this Silverstone GP. The leader on the Lewis Hamilton straight. We will get going again as he looks for the inside at the Vale chicane. Not going to work out. Stage 2 Motorsport driver Beck seemingly unable to get past so far. Snipe trying to make his way through as well as Flores makes his way. And for the rest of these drivers, heading down into Village, and then we go back to Beck. Still trying to make his way through as well. A little bit further back, this battle's still going on. As Stardog spins. Oh, very unfortunate. That is going to be, yeah, out of the Vale chicane onto Lewis Hamilton. Car parked on the apex. I don't think that's going to ever end well.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
as Rubber now takes the final lap. Snide down at P number 6, still trying to close in, as it seems like, yes he has, while we were looking away at that incident, he has got past Flores. Hibbs now on the back of Flores as we head on to the final lap of the Silverstone sprint race here in the British afternoon. Of course, it's cold in the UK right now, however in game it's a nice and toasty 24 degrees. If it were that hot this far north, we would be complaining. As right now it is going to be Flores still on the defence, as the McLaren is going to be right on the back of him. The Greasy Bandits Racing versus Roadrunner Motorsport as we go down one more time down the Hanger Straight this race, and he looks to the inside for Stowe Corner, but the Aston Martin is going to have other plans. He comes across to puts it on the defensive line, heading down into the Vale chicane right now. Number 31 versus 418 into the left-hander, into the right-hander, then through into Club, through the right and through the right-hander and into Abbey. This is where it counts. Zhou Guanyu 2022 having that incident where unfortunately his car did go and flip on its roof, heading down into the braking zone, into the right-hander, now into Village, into the loop. But we give it to this man as he comes down Wellington. It's a man we cannot deny. It's a man who's had this race in control, and it is the man who will, as long as he doesn't celebrate too early, unlike that one short on the SimPlay Motorsport Instagram and YouTube channels. Round the final corner and to the line is Rubber in the trusty Macca. Round the final corner, goes across, sees the checkered, wins the sprint here at Silverstone in round number 5. Clarball P2, Hicks P3. Right now though, Millington still trying to close down. Hibbs has got past, down to the line, he's not going to do enough. What about Beck? Beck finishes down in P number 9. Ramsell P12, Rubber P there. And Unsworth, incident earlier and unfortunate further down the grid. And through the right-hander and into... and Unsworth actually loses that last minute to Gouet, apparently. So that is Rubber, who wins here at Silverstone in the sprint. We got a short 10-minute break coming up, then we'll be back for qualifying. It's Rubber. Finishing order for the sprint goes as follows. It's Rubber, Clarball, Hicks rounds out the podium, Varga, Snye, Flores, Hibbs, Millington, Beck, Argent, Ramsell, Ritchie, Craig, Flemspeed 1, Greaves, The Limiter, Gouet, Unsworth, Smith, Taylor, Wolski, Williams, Tucker, Bettison, Johnson, Fat Bloke, Best, Saunders, Sturrock, Lane, Stardog, Odd Sim Racer, Alberton, and Fernie. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport. I may be in a little bit early on that. But let's get into it, shall we? It is qualifying. It's 15 minutes around the Silverstone circuit here in round number 5. And we get ready to go again. Of course, this determines starting order for race number 2, aka the feature race. And let's get ready to go, shall we? I accidentally clicked something on my keyboard, so that's an accident. As it is Rubber who decided to go out on track first. They are going to be the first driver to go around this infamous circuit. It's quick, it's snappy, and it is one track that everybody knows and loves. If you're just tuning in or you've been watching for a while, don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, SimPlay Motorsport can't do this without our sponsors, Audio Sport and Designed Manchester. You can find out who they are and where you can find their links down in the description of this live stream, or VOD if you are watching after. But right now we are live around Silverstone, and the engines roar to life. That beautiful sounding roar that everybody knows and loves. The smell of unleaded petrol, which sends these cars rapid around these infamous racetracks. Of course, it's the second British circuit of the season. It's round number 5. We're at Bathurst last week, which had nearly 800 meters of elevation change. Now we go to a circuit that only has a few feet. Kind of sad, if you ask me, but here we go then. Watching Rubber as we go inside it. Don't take that out of context. And down into Copse Corner, into the right-hander where we saw a GT4 go and flip it yesterday in the race. But down, and if you're wondering what I'm talking about Shundelermeyer, into Maggie's, into Beckett, into Chapel. That's not how you take the racing circuit. And we now go to Varga. It's going to be a brand new lap time as we are going to switch to somebody else. Who are we going to switch to? We're going to switch to the 105. In fact, no, there seems to be a lot of validations. Up, Atherton, you can't park there, sir. As we go to the limiter, who's going to be driving right on the limit. And right on the limit indeed, as he has gone off the circuit and returns to the pit lane. Ramsell going to be trying not to drive over the limit, and round Stowe he goes down towards the Vale chicane, then the Lewis Hamilton straight. What can the Ferrari do today in this evening with Ram Racing at the helm? Every opportunity is here for him. Through the right-hander and onto the Lewis Hamilton straight, trying to get as much speed as possible, runs it a little bit wide, pushing the track right to its limits, heading down into Abbeyville Farm Curve, into the right-hander, into the left-hander, then down into Village, the braking zone, the F1 turn number 3, or whatever corner number it is on this layout of the circuit, and then into the loop again. The 501, the trusty 501, the 296 Ferrari, under the helm, Italian engineering. That's how we love it, and that's how we know it. It's going to be fighting against the Fords in 2026 in the 24 hours of Le Mans. Down into the braking zone and into the left-hander. Into Brooklands you will go, and then down into Luckfield. Into the right-hander and around this infamous track. Through the final corner of Woodcut. Lap time to set, 1 minute 59.502. As Flem Speed 1 goes P number 2, Ramsell comes to the line and he goes to the top. 1 minute 59.302. What about Varga? What will they be able to do as they now come through Brooklands into Luckfield and then Woodcourt again? The Beamer, the BMW or the BMW. And then into the final corner through Woodcourt to the line, P number 5. For the Beamer. Wolski in the other Beamer goes P number 7. Best, not the best race number 1. He's down in P number 11 here in qualifying. Atherton at the moment in Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, and he's now down in. He's now only just set a lap time. Craig, who's going to be making his way through the circuit right now. Team Burlock, the trusty backer. The trusty Macca, he's at the helm. What can he do in that purple machinery? Honestly, a purple car would more be suited for Atherton. But that's just my opinion. If you get the reference, you get the reference. As right now, Clarbel also going to be making his way through this circuit, trying to do everything that he needs to. Trying to do every opportunity and every chance he takes. Every single bit, every minor mistake will be given. And he now goes out on the track in the 181. Greaves trying to be making his way through the circuit in the Justin McDonald's, as I make jokes about calling up a quarter pounder, but who knows, as they head it down into Vale. So as the McDonald's sponsor spins around the circuit, it is continuing on this evening, as through the right-hander, into the left-hander, and through the loop you go. Long round the right-hander, and into the Wellington straight, trying to pick up as much speed as possible, trying to do everything that he needs to do. What about the number 4 or the number 3? Single digit. It will be the number 4. Taylor is going to be right behind him. Right now, Ramsell still sits up top. Guay, P number 2. Snipe, P number 3. Through the right-hander of Lutfield. Into Woodcut sweep. Through to the line. Where will the Ferrari go? Trying to put that pedal to the metal. The foot to the floor. Ferrari to the line. Goes P number 10. 0.803 off the top time. Still plenty of people yet to set a lap time. Flores is one of them. What about the driver in front of him? As the 181 trying to make his way through as well. Richie has had a moment down at the loop. One thing to point out though, top 3 separated by less than a tenth. Top 3 separated by less than a tenth. That's what makes this racing so intense. I'm not trying to rhyme. As we continue one more shot. 7 minutes, 21 seconds remain here at qualifying. Apologies, I'm yawning, chat. I'm tired. As Greaves now down in P16, trying to make his way up through the circuit. What about Millington? Millington is currently sat in P number 8. Can they go faster? Can they go higher? We shall wait and see. But let's go through this real quick. It's been updated after that first race. So the championship order now looks like this. It's Hibbs, followed by Sny, Ramsell, Guay, Millington, Ritchie, Stardog, Begg, Limiter, Greaves, Flem Speed 1, Varga, Argent, Taylor, Williams, Flores, Old Sim Racer, Saunders, Wolski, Fatblock, Rubber, Smith, Hicks, Turner, Johnson, Betterson, Fern, Craig, Sherrock, Onslaught, Atherton, Clarbel, Best, Cranky Duckhead, Lane, Waste, and Sutcliffe. And then it is for the teams. It is Greasy Bandits Racing, followed by Cam Racing, FSO Racing Team, Stage 2 Motorsport, Fat Bloke Racing, SimPlay Racing, Richie's Course Team, Mad Dog Motorsport, Team TOM, Roadrunner Motors, Cloud9 Racing, Team Merlot, Malamus Racing, Quantum Motorsport, RBGT GT Team, and TRC Audio Sport. As it seems my stream had a moment. Apologies. But right now, with every shot is being taken, every opportunity that is being given, Millington sits P number 3, Ramsell still sits up top. Can anybody dethrone Ramsell? That is my question. Will it come out that there's nothing more he can do? Unsworth currently sat P number 23. Beto, welcome to the stream. And one as into the pits goes Johnson. Atherton for Mad Dog or for Mad Dog Motorsport, still yet to get a lap time on the board. We'll watch Richie for a bit as he makes his way through the circuit. As apologies if you can hear my brewing in the background. As I think my thing had a moment, because it says I've just been connected to Discord. Did I have a moment? I might have had a moment. Unless it was just updating. Apologies if that happens, chat. Things can be awkward sometimes. So right now, we have 3 minutes remaining on the clock. If anybody asks, I'm saving the energy for the race. Because, if you did not know, it is currently 9:07 PM UK time. And this is my second commentary gig of the day, so... yeah, my voice is tired. If you could not tell. But right now, continuing on for this race, it is going to be this man who we're watching right now, the trusty Lamborghini. But this man, Ramsell, currently sat up top. Hibbs may have something to say about it though. He is currently 0.13, the only driver within a second, within two hundredths of that pole time. All he needs is a minor improvement around this circuit, around Silverstone, and McLaren will be on pole. And of course, there is a poll up. Do not forget to get your predictions in the chat for who will be the pole sitter here at Silverstone. And of course, if you don't agree with what's on the board, feel free to put your opinions in chat. This is free speech. And up to the top goes Hibbs. That's how you put it on pole. As Sny making his way around the circuit as well. So right now, 1 minute 10 remains on the clock here in qualifying. Where will it line up? Where will it count? Sny currently sat P number 3. Hibbs P number 1. Ramsell will not be coming out to set another lap time. So somebody has to try and dethrone Hibbs for Greasy Bandits Racing. Through the Vale and into Club. Through onto Lewis Hamilton straight. That may be an invalidation though for the Beamer. We shall wait and see as 30 seconds remain on the clock here in qualifying. Sny goes off and he will return to the pit lane. Millington was higher up earlier on in this race, now looking to dethrone. Trying to do everything and anything that he does need to do. So as qualifying now comes to an end, it is Sny's currently in the pit lane. Millington looking to dethrone only P number 5. Rubber Gue all the way to the top. And it's pole position for Gue, who goes and dethrones him in the last dying embers. Flemspeed 1 looking to dethrone as he goes through Club. Taylor making his way down Wellington. He has a slipstream. Could this be the big opportunity? The slipstream from the Macca in front. Can it be a factor, or will it be a curse? Will it be the fact Taylor could have got that gap? Right now, Gue is on pole. McLaren around the outside. This is qualifying, not the race, lads. Through the final corner. Goes to the line. Only P13. And unless the other three can do something, which I begin to doubt, I believe it's this man. I need to go on my options again. I believe it's this man who is on pole. It's Gue who should be on pole if nobody else makes it to the line. So it's Gue on pole, Hibbs P2, Ramsell P3. So let's get ready to rumble, shall we, chat? Formation lap going to get underway very, very shortly. We'll go through your grid order at that time.
Seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'And we get underway for the formation lap here at Silverstone. We've got a 1 hour race coming up, and it is all to play for as we now get underway and the drivers made their way away from the start-finish line. Let's go through your grid order for you. It is Gue who lines up on pole position with Hibbs P number 2 to make it a greasy Bandits Racing front row. Then Ramsell who lines up in P number 2 for Cam Racing, with Snyde lining up in P number 4, with Unsworth P number 5 and Millington for Cam Racing in P number 6. It's then FSO Racing Limiters in P number 7 with Rubber P number 8. Of course, they won the sprint race. Can they win the feature race? We'll have to find out. P number 9 is then Beck with Stardust rounding up in P number 10 to finish off not only the 5th row of the grid, but also the top 10. It's then Flemspeed 1 Racing. It's then Flemspeed 1 followed by Greaves, Taylor, Flores, Varga, Wolski, Argent, Hicks, Saunders, Old Sim Racer, Craig, Williams, Clarble, Tucker, Ritchie, Fat Bloke, Rob Smith. Sturrock starts in the pits. So it's then Best, Lane, Atherton, Betterson, Johnson, and Thurney. So that is the starting grid order here at Silverstone, and it's got plenty of corners. You know what? I may have a setting. It's not. No, I don't. I got rid of it. It wasn't a SimPlay overlay, and it's custom one, but I got rid of it. I delete them after I use them. God damn it. I had an overlay with the British track on. But, oh well. We go again and we get ready to rumble. Who knows? Every single thing will be playing for. As we go through Abbey, on the formation lap, you've got to wonder, how will Rubber respond to this? He's down in P number 8. He's got Gouet in P number 1. Gouet got redemption in the feature race at Bathurst. Can he do it again tonight here at Silverstone? Which you cannot deny that pole time. So as we now line up on Wellington. It's infamous. It's named after the British bomber. Hopefully none of the carnage that the Wellingtons produced will happen here tonight at Copse. Copse, of course, infamous. 2021. Hamilton Verstappen. We saw an incident happen on lap number 1 of the sprint race at Copse Corner. This is where it counts. This first lap, this can determine your entire race if you are not careful. As they line up here at Silverstone, it is season 7, round number 5, here in SimPlay Motorsport. They will look to that right-hand side as they wait for the green flag.
Green light, give it a look again.
Boogity, let's go racing as the green flag drops and away we go, and it's only going to be a very good start for him. For him, it's not so much for Gouet. Here comes Ramsell, only going to be losing out. It's going to be Sny who gets an amazing start. Down into Maggots, into Beckett's, into Chappell. Who will come out on top? Millington is also going to make his way through as the Helicam produces us with these absolutely beautiful shots. Taylor's had an incident on that first lap. He's already fallen further and further down the field. Everybody seems to be getting through nice and clean. Little bit of argy-bargy. It does seem as out of the pit lane. Welcome the pit lane starter, and it's going to be Flem Speed 1. Already looking for the overtake on the Ferrari ahead. Down into Stone Corner. The BMW is going to be right behind them, though. They've got to be careful. They have got to be careful with every opportunity. Right now, Flem Speed 1 with Grease right behind them, trying to make their way through, trying to scythe their way through, trying to do every opportunity that they need to take. Going to be continuing down into Abbey. Snides on the defensive gain. Was unable to get past Gouet. Hibbs now leads the British Grand Prix. But right now, is this man, Unsworth, trying to make his way through. Millington up in a P number 5. Rubber sits in P number 8 as it does currently stand, unable to make his way through. Another Macca. Beck right behind him. Stardug there as well. Flem Speed 1 trying to make his way through as they head into the loop here at Silverstone. But here we go. Varga. Volt versus Old Sim Racer. We know what that Mustang's like in a straight line. Will it come into advantage on Wellington? Right now, here comes the Ford. Clarball right there as well in the Aston Martin. He's going to have a front row seat to this. Wheel to wheel, side by side. Shades of Vettel Hamilton back in 2017. Round the outside. Old Sim Racer looking to get the overtake done. Loses out, does not get it. He was in front on Wellington. He's on the back onto GT. Right now though, Old Sim Racer, never going to give you up. never going to let it down. Into the right-hander of Chops. He's not going to spin around or desert yet. But Clarbo takes full advantage. Maybe looking to lose out. Ford Mustang down into Maggots, into Beckett's, into Chapel. Rob Smith right behind them. But here we go, down hanger straight, it all comes down to this. A little bit further up, we'll go look at the front of the field a little bit. You can see the gaps of right there. Snideshaw's still trying to defend as a gap does now begin to form. Beck still on the back of that Porsche. Right in front of him, the Porsche with its beautiful cut V6 gears. Forever a favourite where the Porsche lands, as right now, continuing on in this race, it is going to be unlucky for Beck as he begins to fall back a little bit further and further. It may come into effect as you continue here at Silverstone. Looks for an opportunity into the loop. Not going to work out. What about the rest of the grid though? Well, still leading by less than a second though. Is going to be Hibbs. But old Sim Racer actually, not so much. Going to be losing out there a little bit. So right now, Stardog rounds out the top 10. Greaves still trying to trace it down though. Only the top 30 do get points, meaning that 4 drivers will not receive any. Right now, continuing on, Williams trying to chase down Rob Smith. As right now, Clarble also making his way towards the other Ford Mustang, I should say, as he does go off wide at Cops. That will most definitely be a track limits warning, if I am correct. That purple, that shiny, that William Afton S Ford Mustang making his way through. He always comes back, but can he come back and further, but can he come further back as he heads up the field? Right now though, it's going to be the Lamborghini who's trying to chase down as well. He's got that Bentley right in front of him, but he's going to be on the defensive from Saunders. Bentley versus Beamer, the battle of the Bs, the battle of the B team. Ah, so round goes Argent. You can't park there, sir. As right now, you can see it in the background. It seems like there's a little bit of trouble going on, especially for Bentley's back there. Richie seems to have had a moment. Arjun is yet to update the position. But further and further, without a doubt, it is this man. It's everybody's man. It's Johnson trying to look for the move on Fat Bloke. Clean versus Maccas. It's gonna be Nissan versus Beamer. But unlucky as you see the flames fly out. As you see the flames fly out the exhaust. Way too early turning for Johnson there, and that may put him at risk of Richie catching up very, very soon. Right now, Old Sim Racer, Varga trying to chase down Saunders. Gaps beginning to open up. One gap that is not opening up though is this gap as they head down for the rest of this circuit as we ride on the hood of the Ferrari. Closing, faster and faster. 3 lines abreast. 2 astern and in to Stowe. It's Unsworth trying to chase down Millington, trying to chase down Ramsell. As look at that straight line speed against Stardog. down the Lewis Hamilton straight, but slower in the corners it seems. Maybe a little bit too much over speed. Greaves looked to be on the back of Stardog there momentarily. Not going to work out this time, though. Of course, reminder for you, it's one mandatory pit stop for refuel only. You do not have to take tyres if you don't want to, but it is the best strategy to do so. No rain on the forecast, optimum track surface, 23 degrees on track, 17 degrees ambient. Hicks trying to close down on Grievers, but right now it's Wolski and Flem Speed 1 with that beautiful cut V6. So here we go, the battle of the three Ferraris, which continues to evolve here in race number 2, in the feature race here at Silverstone. Faster and faster, opportunity after opportunity, through the lefts, through the rights, Greasy Bandits 1-2, but Ramsell, Snye and Unsworth may look to disapprove. Onto Hanger, into the slipstream, closing, faster and faster, but the gap still remains. Further and further, getting as close as possible. Looks to be inside, but does not work out this time. As we have an update from Varga, who I'm going to be honest, I did not even notice disconnected. My bad. Varga has had a power outage. With a power outage is out of this Silverstone Grand Prix. They will not be continuing here, and that is it for Varga's race, unless the power comes back on. As Varga says, they're going to complain to Mofo. Fair enough. And right now, going to be continuing on. Snye is close. Snye is actually getting closed in on. So whilst Unsworth is right there with him, he is closing in, not only on Millington and Ramsell, but they've all closed in on Snye, who seems to be having not the best season here so far. As right now, around the outside, maybe, race I should say, not season. As Hicks right there with him, onto the main straight, onto the throttle. We are a team, maybe not, but Mackers, you've got a Ferrari behind you, and it's coming for your Quart, and it's coming for your Big Max. But right now, down into turn number 1 here, into Cox corner, into the right-hander, and it is unfortunately not going to be enough for Hicks. As they do continue on for the rest of this race, it does continue, lap after lap, second after second. As Fernie closing in on Tucker. That's one which is going to be interesting. As right now, Unsworth is going to make the move finally, looks for the inside, not going to work out that time. But maybe the switch back out of the loop and further into this race. Lap number 6 here at Silverstone. Further and further, one more time into the braking zone. Looks for the move, possibly down into Brooklands. Doesn't work out. Lutfield, your next opportunity, and onto the main straight. But now, this battle, which used to be a freeway, becomes a four-way. Becomes a four-way, and the quarter pounders need to be good to be flipped, because it is going to be making some good money. As apologies there, chat. Headset died, so I just... Apologies there, chat. Headset died, so I just needed to switch to my wired one. Sorry about that short quiet period. As we do now go down into the right-hander and into the main straight again. It's Ramsell, though, on the back of Snai. One more time, one more chance, looking for an opportunity. And now we go again. Through the right-hander, into the left-hander, and into each curve as it comes. So as we continue now onto the hanger straight, and it's one more chance, one more opportunity. Snai is going to be playing the defensive game. Will it work out though? He's not quite there enough yet. Into the right-hander and onto the Lewis Hamilton straight. You can see the leaders there, so that's a key factor to point out here actually. These guys aren't that far off the leader. Like the leaders are all the way up there, and the rest of these guys, like the majority of the grid is within a sector. And that's why we love GT racing. Like, it may not seem like it, but these cars, when it comes down to it, are actually very close to each other. As right now, it is going to be every single chance and every single spot as Ramsell is still trying to chase down Snai. This seems to be the battle that is going on right now. We'll switch to the one further down in just a second. And it is going to be Argent, actually. This man had a spin earlier on, now still in the boat lane. But he's trying to make his way through as well. Fat bloke coming onto Lutfield, into Woodcut. And onto the main straight. Here he's on the back of Rob Smith. Can he close into that Ford Mustang? It's infamous on the straights though. That is the main detail. That Ford Mustang is something else in a straight line. What about Greaves? He's trying to make his way towards Rubber. Rubber started P number 8 in this race. Now down in P number 10. Losing 2 positions. Hicks has made up a few. As now, you can see these guys, they're also bunched together. They're now, they are now bumper to bumper. Unsworth just needs to get in on this fight, but you got to be careful when you're that close, because one wrong move can send you round. That is a lapped car of Quantum Motorsport. That is best. He is the back marker. So the leaders have already passed him. Snai, Ramsell, Millington and Unsworth still need to. That's going to make it interesting, is he's just going to go on the grass. I thought there was going to be a bit more awkward to get past him, but never mind. So as we do continue on here at Silverstone, into the right-hander, onto the main straight. These guys all still nose to tail, as it looks like the Cam Racing boys are actually going to have a go at it. Millington coming on Ramsell. Here we go, onto the main straight. Pause, and here we go. The white, the blue and the green, all locked in a battle. Everything that is needed will be done here. As nope. Here comes Unsworth. Apologies that we've been watching these guys for a while, chat, but this is the key factor, as here comes Ramsell. Now, back marker got in the way. Here comes down the inside. It's going to be an opportunity. He cannot afford to miss. Here comes Unsworth as well. Looked for it, didn't get it. Sny finally gets overtaken. Apologies. Ooh. I really need to get I really need a better drink. As Unsworth right now then, big factor, Millington, still on the back of Ramsell. Like I said, apologies for watching these guys for so long, chat, but this is a big battle going on right now, as it's technically for the podium. As onto the main straight, here comes the Macca, looking for the Beamer, closing, lurking and looking a strike into Cop's corner. Here we go. As he loses out there, Unsworth also loses out, so Sny's still holding on to that spot. We're now 10 laps in, well, we're on the 11th lap, and it's still him who leads, followed by Gue, then Ramsell. As here we go, that's going to be Clavel versus Flores, as it looks like, no. Smith is right there. We saw something happen before. Lapped car, blue flags! Channel Vienna, Sebastian Bell. Blue flags, what are we doing? That probably just made loads of people cringe, and I apologise, it made me cringe as well. Oh, and the Nissan takes advantage of Fat Blood coming deep, and Johnson's ahead. So right now, Rob Smith versus Clavel. This is a big battle, 22 minutes into this race. Here's a question though, Team TOM did not have the best starts here in the sprint races, and now they're a little bit further down in the feature. Is Silverstone not looking good for them, as Saunders looks for the move, but here comes the Aston Martin on the inside. As he does look for the inside line, he is going to go under the right-hander. Everything that he needs is right in front of him, as Saunders does actually go wide. That's going to give him a little bit of overspeed down into Maggots, but it's not going to work out. Looks for the inside, looks for the outside, but Old Sim Racer is right there to stop him. Rubber now down in P13. He keeps on losing places, and it's unfortunate that we can never seem to catch them. I apologise for that. Matt Hicks is going to be there, right there in P number 11. I know this guy and I'm getting his name wrong, aren't I? Oh god. But right now, Stardog right there with him. Going to be continuing on. He's right on the back of Beck as we head it down into Abbey. A little bit too far back for the Ferrari. The McLaren known for its speed on the straights. The Ferrari known for its corners. The fact that this is such a power circuit gives that McLaren the extra bit of speed that it does need and the extra bit of speed that it wants. Unsworth still as Millington. No, Unsworth's had a moment. So Unsworth has had a moment. Apologies that we missed that. He's now behind Rubber. He's down in P number 13. So he's had a moment, and that's going to cost him a little bit. As right now, everybody else in the grid order is going to have their own battles. As Johnson right now, the Nissan versus the Mustang. It is a box versus a box. Down into Brooklands. Not going to work out. But through the left-hander. Into the right-hander. Who will have the exact proper line. A line here can make a big difference as we go into the right-hander. And if my assumption is correct, in 30 seconds, the pit lane will open. You have to make your mandatory pit stop in that time, and that's going to spice it up a little bit. Add a little bit of spice to that. It's a 25-second minimum pit stop time. You might as well add the 5 and 8 tyres. Who will come out on top? A pit stop here can make the difference. We saw in race 1 how one of the Quantum Motorsport drivers got the pit stop wrong, and that cost them a top 10, but loses the rear end. And Johnson, who was on the back of that Ford Mustang, now loses out. The pit lane now opens. You've got 10 minutes to make your pit stops. As yellow, 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 yellow. Oh, something's happened there. Up. A little bit of off-roading. Did Fat Bloke and Saunders come together? Because they've both lost at places. But we'll have to wait to find out. Clarbel, right now, currently sat in P number 17. As into the pit lane, Stardog calls. Apologies for getting my brother in the background. As right now, into the pit lane comes Stardog. Quite a few people in the pits, actually. Flem Speed 1 into the pits. A lot of people further down. Atherton into the pits. Lane into the pits. Oh! Has my server had a moment? Yes, it has. Apologies about that, chat. Perks of being on Series S. Let me just put this up real quick so that I don't leak stuff. We're back in. I think at the moment. Apologies. Don't think we missed much. Yeah, heads up chat. I'm on Series S. So, that's why it did that, most likely. My poor little Series S had a moment. So right now, it is Sny who's yet to pit, Gue actually, into the pit lane. And everybody's in the pits. Gue is now coming out. Where is he going to come out on track though? That's the question. He's showing P5. Is it P5? No, it's P number 6 it seems. So key thing to point out, now that pit stops are done, Hibbs still leads. Sny's now P2, limiter P number 3. Greaves is right there with him. One thing to point out, we've got this battle going on. Hicks now making his way up through the field, trying to get as close to Millington as possible. That pit stop has already been made by Hicks. Millington has dropped further back than he possibly have wanted. It shows 0.5, but I believe it's more than that. It is! Millington's at a moment! Millington's had a moment in Maggots and Beckett's. The man who was P number 3, now down in P21. Thank you, game. If somebody knows how to turn that man off, please let me know. So right now, Gue on net is for the race winners. Sny stays out, but Hibbs and Limiter into the pit lane. Where is Gue though? They are coming round into the loop. They've just come out of the loop. They're now on Wellington. We'll go to Helicam because we will see the pit lane that way. Let me just do that. So we'll go to Helicam as we can see the pit lane on the side when we do this. You got to wonder though, where is the leader? Where will they come out? Here comes Gue, making his way through the field. Hibbs is now done with his pit stop. We'll watch him. Where is Gue? We are looking for that. We are looking for that Aston, but it looks like it's going to be a nice and clean exit. It's a nice and clean exit, and that's how you do it. Nice little gap. Gue, net, P number 2. As this looks like it's going to be a battle. Yes, it will on the exit. No, it won't. As Flem Speed 1 right there with him. Millington now past Flem Speed 1. No, Flem Speed 1's back here. Who was that? That's the other Porsche. That is the limiter. But Flem Speed 1, I lost him now. Great. Seeming to be locked in a battle here. The Helicam providing the best angles, like it always do. We're now halfway through this race, and the pit lane does close in 3 minutes. Well, it doesn't close. The pit window closes in 3 minutes. Oi! Oh, whoa, whoa! That's a major mistake by Robert down into Stowe. As up, Betterson gets a stop-go 30. As into the pits comes the 2 leaders. Where is Hibbs? Here is Hibbs. If I'm correct, he's very much going to get this race lead here. You can see his teammate right behind him actually, 2.9 seconds behind from what the board is showing. Of course, ACC intervals are hardly ever correct. But we will see all of those pit lanes, we'll see all of those pits on the right-hand side right now. You can see them all. Everybody in the pit lane. Is anybody moving in the pits? Is anybody on the way out? No, they are not. So that is Greasy Bandits Racing with a solid P1 and 2. What about Ramsell, though? Is anybody going to be on the move when he comes to the exit of the pit lane? There will be one man. It's going to be Sny, but he's going to get a perfect jump. Stardog is going to be in between him. It looks like Sny's going to be in between Stardog and Ramsell. Hello, right. As right now, we saw this before, it's Ramsell. He's now on the back of that. He's now on the back of the Blue Flags car. As down the inside, he is going to go down and he will get it done. Sny's going to be right there with him as well. Greaves a little bit further back. Stardog's right in front of them. So down the Lewis Hamilton straight, trying to get past this lap traffic. This is the action right now. Passing lap traffic as we now go over to Hicks for Quantum Motorsport. I'll be nice. I'll give you, Matt, I'll be nice. I'll give you boys a little bit of screen time. As right now, it is going to be Hicks, who is in between Millington and the limiter. But the limiter is going to be right there with him. Hicks goes wide. Limiter, though, down the inside. On down into Village. Mistake by Hicks. Limiter goes past. I am so sorry for the commentary curse.
The pit window is closing now.
As the pit window closes, luckily enough, everybody's made the mandatory pit stop. Apart from somebody in the feature race, in the sprint race, who decided I'm going to do the pit stop incorrectly. Not mentioning names, if you know who you are. As down the inside, he's got Richie in front of him. The Bentley's there as well. Lamborghini already passed. Here comes the Ferrari. Gets past the Bentley. Looks for the inside. Down into left field. Ever so slides. Wheel to wheel. Side by side. This is what you love to see. Ferrari, Lamborghini, a true battle of the horses, a battle of the bull technically and the horse. Down into Cop's corner, the horse, the prancing horse. Look for the inside. Italian engineering at the forefront. Now down on to hangar. Everything you need for this chance. It's going to be the slipstream. The Lamborghini going to be bouncing down into Stowe. We will go. Ferrari chooses the inside line for a Lamborghini. He's going to be right there with him. Richie, Hicks, everybody knows. Down into Vale chicane. I don't know why I said Hicks. He's not even near this battle. Down into Vale. Down into the inside. Lamborghini's not going to give it up. He's never going to let you down. They go around and they're never going to desert you. Here comes Arjun on the inside. Maybe contact. Takes evasive action. Loses out to Saunders, who now goes wide. And of course, as soon as we look away, Unsworth gets past Richie. So right now, through the right-hander and into Woodcut Sweep, it is the Aston Martin chasing down the Macca, the Nissan chasing down the Aston Martin. It's onto the main GT pit straight, down towards Cops. 22 minutes remain on the clock. So right now, heading down into Maggots, Beckett, Chapel, and then down towards Stowe. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Just try not to hit the other drivers, please. As Hicks, playing the defensive game. He's got back past Flem Speed 1 and through the right-hander. And then all the way down, all the way to Abbey. the Porsche with its beautiful V6. Let's have a listen, shall we? As listen to those Cup V6 engines. The sound of power as he comes down Wellington, looks for the move, moves to the right, goes for it, round the outside, they head into Brooklands, then in to Lutfield, and it's going to be wide for the Porsche. He goes deep, almost makes contact. Hicks gets away scot-free. Rubby's going to be right there with him. Down into Woodcut, sweep into the right-hander, onto GT pit straight. Right now, Rubber though, got Greaves behind him. A little bit of a fall from Grace for the sprint race winner. He's not going to give it up though. Down into Hangar, where the Hangars used to sit. Today sits a beautiful racing straight where we see plenty of action. A McLaren, a Porsche, Ferrari, a Beamer, all looking to go against each other. And then down into Vale, into the braking zone. You throw it left, you throw it right, and you don't throw it back because it's not a Saturday night, and you don't go off the track. You keep it clean, you keep it tight onto the Lewis Hamilton straight. As here comes the Porsche, looks for the outside line, down into the loop, as here comes the Beamer, looks for the move on the McLaren, down into the braking zone. We have to go to Helicam for this one, folks. As you can see, all the drivers, wheel to wheel, bumper to bumper, all the way down. Here comes Wellington, here comes Flem Speed 1 versus Higgs, the Ferrari, just not big enough. Will diving down the inside though, he's having none of it, neither is the Beamer. As you go for abreast, the Ferrari, the Porsche, never gonna give you up, and it's never gonna let you down when it comes to battles. Into the main GT pit straight, through Woodcut sweep, down towards Cops, and it's not going to work out. Flem Speed 1 finally gets past Hicks. Rubber now looking for the pass. As another thing to point out, Millington looks for Beck, a little bit too far back. Blue flags, blue flags. As right now, these guys are still going at it. This is why we love ACC, guys. As Rubber makes a mistake, off and down into the runoff. The rubber broke, and it made a mistake. And he's now down into P12. So now, Millington, Limiter, Flem Speed 1, Hicks, Greaves, Brubber, Clarble, Old Sim Racer, Smith, Unsworth, Fat Bloke. I don't know why I keep on saying flat. I keep on saying flat instead of fat. I don't know why. Unfortunate for Atherton, he's down in P number 20. He's down in P33. Best down in P number 32, while his teammate is P10. Oh no. From hero to Devistry, it's a drive-through for Rubber. As one thing to point out, Gue's taken over Hibbs. When did that happen? As that Ferrari is going to have to become thick. As right now, it is Greaves who's trying to chase down Hicks. So Greaves still trying to chase down Hicks at this moment in time. Millington, though, looking for Beck as they come now down and onto the Wellington straight. Look at the rears of those cars. Nice and big. It's a beautiful sight when you're chasing down a car. As right now, Millington through the left-hander into the right-hander of Lutfield. Woodcut sweep next on the list. Heading down onto the GT pitch straight. This is where it begins to count. Every single thing you need, every chance you need, every opportunity you need, this is where you take it. As Rubber now comes in to serve his drive-through. Snai actually chasing down Ramsell. As, no, Snai's made a mistake. Up, and the cone got sent to the stratosphere. So right now, as these drivers do keep on going, who's that off on the right-hand side? Who knows? There's Millington right now, still on the back of Beck. So it's Ferrari versus Ferrari. Millington tries to peck away at Beck, lap after lap. What can he do here? I have to become a little bit quieter because my brother is trying to sleep. But right now, down into the loop, through the left-handers, onto Wellington. As that is a... is that Stardog? As very, very unfortunate news, Rubber has a stop-go 30. But pecking away at Beck, it is going to be Millington on Beck. 12 minutes, 45 seconds remain on the clock here at Silverstone. We're 24 laps deep. Millington trying to chase him down, lap after lap. Ferrari versus McLaren. Everybody loves these type of battles. Heading down into Copse Corner. 50 metres is where the braking zone is. Into the right-hander, onto the throttle. Faster, faster, lap after lap. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. Why am I trying to sing? Into Maggots, into Beckett's. And onto the hangar straight. One thing to point out though, this may become a three-way battle as the speed limiter is right on the back of him. The Porsche, make it a three manufacturers. It is going to be Ferrari versus Porsche versus McLaren for what could possibly be the rest of this race. How's your boy Best doing? P33. right now, it's these guys. Limiter, Millington, Beck, down and onto Wellington again as we continue going here at Silverstone. You see those cars, you see the headlights. No, best is P32. Not bad. As Millington now onto the back of Beck. Chat, I do not know if you can tell my voice is going, so I apologise. As right now into the right-hander, onto the throttle, faster and faster, lap after lap. Every opportunity you need. Into the lefts, into the rights, and into the throttle again. Into Millington, into Beck, into everybody you know. And then it's Greaves down in P number 11, trying to make his way up into the top 10. Hicks has to make that Ferrari once again thick. As into Maggots, into Beckett's, and down into Chapel. As a little bit of a mistake there. Greaves will take advantage. Onto Hanger Straight we will go. Beamer versus Ferrari. McDonald's versus Quantum. As we go down one more time. Throttle versus throttle. Speed versus straight line. Corners versus straights. Down into Stowe. Ferrari's not going to give it up. He's never going to let it down. He's never going to go around, and he's not going to desert it. But it's going to be Greaves who will get ahead. Hicks is going to continue on in this race, though. Now in P number 11. I feel bad for that lone fan. Anybody else will see that singular fan in the grandstand just waving that flag? So somebody go and check on that fan if he's alright. He looks lonely. As right now, Millington still on the back of Beck. These guys have been going at it for quite a while, as well as the Porsche. As everybody seems to have calmed down a bit. So it's these guys who were watching. Right now, with 8 minutes remaining on the clock, it's a freeway battle for P number 5, and the gap between Goudet and Hibbs continues to open up. It's 11 seconds in to P number 3. Goudet won the feature as Redemption in Bathurst. Can he go here at Silverstone again tonight? He just needs to make 0 mistakes in these final 7 minutes, 45 seconds. But as these guys continue to battle with every single thing in their grasp. Who will come out on top? There is not a small enough gap to chase for P number 4. It's a battle for P number 5, and it is between Beck, Millington, and the Limiter. Who will come out? Who will win in the top 5? Of course, they can't win the race, but they can win the hearts of those fans. Live in the grandstands here at Silverstone. Of course, it's a lot more sunny than it is in real life right now. It is pitch black here in the UK, and that's another thing you've got to wonder. These late hours, these late hours, you got to think of it. It is now 22:12 p.m. well, 12 minutes past 10 p.m. in the UK right now. How will that be affecting the drivers? The later that you go, the harder it is for you to stay awake. How will it be? How will the drivers be trying to combat that? Will fatigue begin to set in? Will it become a key factor which they may lose out in this race and cost them plenty of position? As we now go down into Vale Chicane for another time, we will have 3 more laps after this one. And it is now through Lewis Hamilton, and just as I said that is Millington, who seems to make a mistake, possibly the limiter as well, because Begg just got a mega launch. Talk about a launch when you need it. From within a second to now 4.7. That may be the decider. As right now, we will actually go down to Stardog. Yes, it was Stardog who spun around earlier. So something happened to one of the drivers up front, which I do apologise for. It is now, as we actually see it, it's Saunders. Saunders at the moment. He's gone down, round, and he's gone further down the grid order. Right now, it's Stardog versus Hicks. The battle of the Ferraris. It's a 2-minute lap time here at Silverstone. 1 minute 59 if you're quick enough. However, it may be hard to maintain. So right now, the leader, as they come through Lewis Hamilton, will have, if I am correct, one or two laps to go. What time is it for me locally? I heard you say it's pitch black outside. For me, it's fine. Yeah, no, that's for America. Here in the UK, it is 10:15 at night. I am tired. As right now, it's Stardog who's looking for the moves, trying to make his way past Hicks. And it's not just us. There is some European drivers in this race. It's later for them. Some of them, it may be past midnight, as going down into the braking zone for the Vale Chicane, into the right-hander, into the throttle, into the opportunity, but it's not close enough. The Ferrari of Hicks, nice and big. But right now, one more time, one more opportunity, which you will have to take as the leader is now. We've got a yellow flag. We've got a yellow. Who was that? Who's gone around? Trying to catch it. Trying to catch it. Trying to catch it. Trying to catch it. What? Trying to catch it. It was Best. Best had a moment out of Chapel. So right now, as we now go on to what will be the penultimate lap of this race, there will be one more lap after this by where the leader is. There's been a moment in the loop. Who is that? That is somebody who's gone round. We will try and find them quick enough. As that was a... Oh, that was the Aston Martin. That was Flores. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I should say headphone warning when I do that. As right now... Oh, it goes from bad to worse for Team TOM tonight. It's a drive-through for Old Sim Racer. Team TOM just not having what they wanted tonight. As right now, we got freeway battle between three Beamers. It's Saunders versus Fat Bloke versus Wolski, and maybe, just maybe, they will go 3 wide down the Hanger Straight. As you can see it right there, the leader enters the final lap. We will go to them when we can. Wolski versus Fat Bloke. Gotta do what Skipper says, Wolski, as you head down into Vale Chicane. If you know Madagascar, then you know what I'm on about. But right now, the Macca's car, you've got the good old Mackey's car. This is the purple car. This is the lime car. Trying to duke it out. But three-way battle, this is what you love. As it down into the loop, and it's going to be all the Beamers actually, apart from Wolski, will make a difference. And Wolski now going to go for the switchback, heading into the loop. Saunders seeming to lose out there momentarily, but it's going to be somebody. It will be Fat Bloke who loses out the most. Beamer moves across. Fat Bloke moves to the left-hand side. Going to go down into, going to be going down into Brooklands. Will Fat Bloke send it? He's a bit too far back. He will not, but that's going to be Wolski who will make the mistake. Skipper's not going to be happy. Down into the right-hander. I don't want excuses. I want the results. And we go down into the final lap of the Silverstone GP, while these drivers make their way through the rest of this circuit. He's coming onto Wellington, and we will give him his flowers. Gue made a mark last time in Bathurst. He lost out in the sprint at Bathurst. But tonight, he's done everything he needed to. After Bathurst, he wasn't going to give you up. He wasn't going to let you down. He was never going to go around or desert you. He goes to the line, and it's to the top. It's Gue who wins the Silverstone GP. Hibbs comes P2 to make it a Greasy Bandits 1-2. But the battle still continues around the circuit. The battle of the Beamers continues as they head down into Vale Chicane. So as they head onto the Lewis Hamilton straight, they have still got another sector and a half to go. Down into Abbey, then Forest Curve. My voice hurts. Down into Village, and then the Loop. Who will get the better drive? Through the left-hander and onto the throttle, onto Wellington, where we say one more chance as we go down, as we go for Good Johnson, trying to make the move, loses out as we go down. Fat Bloke could not get past Saunders. Wolski still trying to get past Fat Bloke as we continue. One more time, one more chance. Here we go onto Woodcut, and we go here. It's pedal to the metal, foot to the floor. Is there a chance? Is there a difference? But there is not. The Beamers ending where we found them. And that is it. It is over. And we need to find him. Where is Rubber? We'll find Rubber a second. I can't find Rubber. Apparently I can't find some things. As there is penalty, your winner of the feature race. And it is over. A 30-second penalty. It's Good A, and it is who wins, followed by Hibbs to make it a 1-2 for Greasy Bandits Racing. Then Ramsell rounds out the podium, and it was Rubber who won the feature. So we do continue, and we will be getting the interviews on in just a second. My voice hurts after that, but that's why we love Silverstone. It is crazy. It makes everything perfect, really. It's one of those circuits which has almost everything, apart from elevation changes, because anything and everything. But to be fair, Bathurst did basically round that out last week, and the calendar isn't done yet. As of course, this was round number 5. Ignore I said round 4 earlier on in this stream. But we go to Kyle Army next week, followed by Imola, Nürburgring, Red Bull Ring, Alton Park, Watkins Glen, and Donington Park. But of course, you got the pros tomorrow night, and I believe we are getting people in now. So let's begin with the interviews, if they are here, unless people have changed things. Hello, Ramsel. How was your race? Talk us through it.
Very stressful. Start of the race being stuck behind that BM. Just lost all my the front downforce and it destroyed the tyres. Very, very hard. So I put that BM in the right places to make it hard to get around.
Yeah, and you did mention it. 12.2 seconds back at the end of the race behind the Greasy Bandits Racing. What was going on through your head? How after you got past that Beamer, what was like your game plan for the rest of the race and to get onto that podium?
Well, first of all, obviously pit stop. Make sure I nailed that. But I think then it was just a case. I think they were too far gone after being behind that BM, and then it was a case of trying to look after the tyres because I saw him go very aggressive on the brakes and coming out the corners. So I knew if I preserved the tyres and held the race pace, it would have been all right.
Yeah, and to be fair, you were actually you just said it then. What was the tyre wear like? Because obviously, I don't drive a GT3, I drive a GT4. So, what was the tyre wear like out there for the GT3s with the track being 23 degrees at the start and about 20 at the end?
Yeah, I think it was worse than I was expecting, to be honest. In practice, it weren't too bad. But obviously, first stint being stuck behind the BM, totally destroyed my tyres. I was fighting for as much grip as I can. But I say just being conservative on that second stint. But I had a little bit of a drop off, and then towards the end, managed to sort of hold on to it. But yeah, they were a lot worse than expected.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at this. Obviously, different car to the rest of the top two. Your P3 in this race, we go to Kyle Army next week. Very different to Silverstone, in my opinion. What's your game plan going into that race and possibly to try and get further up that podium, even possibly a race win?
I think next week probably be a bit more of a struggle. I find with the Ferrari, it's good on the corners. Not so much on the exits, but it's good on gaining time going into the braking zones and stuff. Not many heavy braking zones next week. It's more faster corners, which we can sometimes tend to struggle with. So getting that setup done properly next week is going to be the big key.
Yeah, so the setup and anybody you want to say hi, because I have no more questions. Anybody you want to say hi to or thank or yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to say just a happy birthday to one of my cousins for birthday yesterday. She unfortunately lost her dad a couple of weeks ago to cancer after a couple of years of fighting. So a big shout out to Yazzie on her 17th birthday.
Well, shout out to her. Thank you very much. And I shall go on to the next person. Thank you very much, Ramsel. And going on to Matt Hicks. Hello, Matt. Talk us through talk us through your race.
Oh, yeah, pretty decent actually, Nin. I mean, third place, probably, best I've done so far. So, yeah, I mean, pretty happy with that to be honest. Yeah, just trying to hold people off, quite challenging, but I had Matt Wright on the mic, so yeah, he was helping me through.
And so, also, Ferrari.
Yeah.
What was Ramsel's already put his input in what the Ferrari was like out there for him. What was it like for you out there? Because of course, very different positions and kind of different conditions between the races with the temperatures.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, actually, race 2, I don't know if everyone was changing tyres in the pit, but I decided not to, and I think that might have been my downfall in that one. But it was great for the sprint, for the 20 minutes. Just absolutely loved it around that track compared to others. But race 2, and after the pit, just found it so difficult to keep any pace, really.
Yeah, to be fair, that you did get a very good ending position. To be fair, I'm going to get this up real quick. P10 for that as well, so not too bad. Lots of defensive plays. What was it like having to defend out on that circuit?
Oh my God, those guys are so good. I mean, I hope I didn't annoy them too much, but yeah, I was just didn't have the pace to kind of get away from them, so I had to just try and go ultra defensive, really. But yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, and I said it to the other guy, I'll say it to you. Kyle Army next week. Plans, looking to improve. What we're looking like going into Kaya?
Don't know that track well, so I have no idea. Gonna have to just do some crazy practice, I think.
Enough. And anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, Fraser, Matt Wright. They good guys. Obviously, Bestie had a bit of a stinker, but he's all right. So yeah, thanks to those guys.
Thank you very much. On to the next person. And Hibbs, that is you. How was that race for you out there tonight?
It was good. Actually, I really enjoyed it. John gave me a nice, easy start. I think he let me go at the start and let me build a gap and sort of find a rhythm. And then it was just a case of trying not to make mistakes. John had way more pace than me, so it's a case of once he caught me, don't hold him up, let him go, and try and follow him. That was the plan.
Yeah, and the other two people I just spoke to were in Ferraris. You were in the McLaren out there tonight.
Yeah.
British engineering around the British track. How was the car for you with the conditions out there?
It was really good. Yeah, quite stable. I've been lucky enough to get a Cloudon set up, so if that's another person to thank, that it's probably that's put me in the position I'm in.
Yeah, and of course, P number 2, you've already mentioned it, just couldn't catch up to John once he got past you. Tried to follow as best as possible. P1 and P2, 4 Greasy Bandits Racing. So that's you P2, John P1.
Yeah.
What does that feel like for the team from your perspective?
It's awesome. Obviously, we're leading the teams at the minute, so it's trying to stay out of trouble and build a gap to the Cam Racing guys behind, because obviously Rob and Steve are both, really consistent, really quick. So it's not making any mistakes and trying to always finish ahead of them, which is easier said than done.
I understand that, but going into next race as well, Kyle Army, obviously you're in a different car, the McLaren, compared to the Ferrari. How do you think that race is going to end up for you?
I don't really know Kyle Army very well, but whenever I race there, I always seem to do okay. So yeah, I'm hopeful I can get the car set up right, and again do the same sort of thing, just be consistent and stay out of trouble. The reverse grid race is trying to avoid any incident, stay clean. That's the big one. Pick up points.
Yeah, that is the big one. And I feel like you already alluded to this, but anybody you would like to shout out?
My friend Bob Brown might be in the chat. It's his birthday today, so wish him a happy birthday. Thanks to John for giving me an easy ride in turn 1. Helping me build the gap. And thanks to Cloudon for the setup. Again, another podium, another one of his setups. So yeah, brilliant.
Thank you very much. And I shall now go on to your teammate, the man of the hour. And the man who I can never seem to get the last name right of.
No one does. It's fine.
And my mate keeps on yelling at me for it. I'm just gonna say John. John, talk us through that race for you, because that was a mega win in race number 2.
Yeah, it's becoming a bit of a pattern at the minute. Race 1 is kind of a what's the right thing to say? A bit of a mess all the time. So going into race 2, it's just kind of trying to get my head down. It's annoying because I know I've got the pace there, and if I could just try and keep out of trouble in race 1, I know I'd be half decent in it. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, going into race 2, it's just kind of trying to put myself at the front end of the grid, and then just get my head down and just try and build a gap, and work from that.
It's kind of hard to come up with questions for you because you just ran away with it. How was the Aston out there? I know I'm repeating questions, chat.
Nah, well, it's the thing you gotta do when you got multiple drivers in here, isn't it? Nah, the Aston feels really good. I can't emphasise how good this car actually feels. I don't know if it's a setup sort of situation or it's just generally me gelling with the car. I always knew that I was quite strong around Silverstone because we'd done a endurance race a little while ago, and me and Jamal Clouden was in the Aston, and I had no practice in it, and my pace was just on form around there. So I always knew the pace was there for me with the Aston. I just had to nail it down and just punch in quali laps. Once I'd get the quali laps going in and then get into a little bit of a rhythm, the rest was fairly easy, to be fair.
And I said this to your teammate. I'll say it to you as well. P1, P2, 4 Greasy Bandits Racing. How is that feeling for both you and the team?
Oh, it's phenomenal. Like, I couldn't ask for a better teammate at the minute. His consistency, and when I don't end up picking up points, he ends up picking them up, and it's vice versa. When he drops a few rounds, I end up picking them up. So I think the team balance, what we've got, is quite good. Obviously, on paper, we've showed the pace where we could both possibly be 1-2 and dominate. It's just little errors and issues that we come across. But no, it's a really good point. So, as Hibbs said, we're just trying to build that gap, like between us and Cam. The Cam boys, on their day, again they've proved it how good they actually are. So we know we've got to try and keep our momentum going to try and keep that gap between us and Cam. So, yeah, it's good. It's going well. It's just I'm trying to keep level pegging, not looking too far ahead. So.
Yeah, well, speaking of not looking too far ahead, you might have to now. Kalama next week. What are you looking for in that race?
Every time we've been there, I've been fairly strong. Last season, I should have had P1, ended up messing up my pit stop, ended up getting P2. Yeah, so going into this track, I know I'm fairly strong around, so it's literally, like I've had this conversation with Matt, it's just trying to keep my head on a level, do a bit of practicing, get the car feeling nice, and then go into the race and just try and do what I can do with the car. Yeah, the car is phenomenal for me at the minute. Like I said, I can't put my finger if it's actually me or if it's the car at the minute, but I know I can push the limits to the car, so I'm hoping I can go into the next race and do the same as what I've done today and the previous race, and just try and keep that momentum going.
Fair enough. And anybody you would like to shout out?
Yeah, well done to Hibbs. Rob Ramsell, he played a good run there. Shame he got caught up behind the BMW because I think he would have been a lot closer to us. Do I have to say thank you to Matt? I'm not sure what to for, but yeah, thank you, Matt. But yeah, thank you for everyone that's kind of given us support. The support actually goes quite far for us as well. It kind of gives us that push to want to do better as well. So, but yeah, let's move on to the next race and see what we can do there.
Most definitely. And like I said earlier, the racing action is not done yet. By the way, John, you are free to go. Thank you for coming to the interview. And it is not done yet. Silverstone returns tomorrow night, right here at SimPlay Motorsport on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell for notifications so you know when we are live. It is Matthew who is going to be in the box with his co-commentator, and join the Discord to know about our upcoming endurance race where we conquer the Nürburgring for charity. But ladies and gentlemen, I'll be out on track next week, but I'll be back for Kyle Army right here in the box. Matthew, they've got you tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been SimPlay Motorsport. I've been Lexi. Good night.